All right, man, let's move right along. I had an experience this weekend. One that I think if you are a sports fan and you live in the DFW area, even though you may not have a dog in the fight, I thought, at least I did, I thought it would be a good idea to experience things at least once. And boy, let me tell you, once will be the only time I experience this. I had an opportunity, privilege, an honor to attend the, can we call it historic? It's a historic game, right? Right? It's an historic game, historic rivalry. Someone even said it might be the best rivalry, and I said, whoa, hold on. Hold on. Pump your brakes. Listen, Michigan, Ohio State, it's a good rivalry. Texas, OU, Texas, good rivalry. You know, Miami and Florida State back in the day, good rivalry. Miami, Notre Dame, Catholics and convicts. The number one rivalry in all the sports, at least collegiately. Don't play yourself. Is Duke, North Carolina. I should say North Carolina, that school from Durham. Don't play yourself. But I went and I experienced the Texas OU Red River rivalry. Can't say that 3 times fast. And let me start with the good first. I'm glad I did it to say that it's done. The people who support these teams really support these teams. And that's cool. That's cool. I'm out on ever going again. I never have to see another Texas OU game again. And I don't blame the people. I blame myself. I was regretting it from the parking lot. I mean, just finding parking. If you ever been to the Cotton Bowl, you know what it is. And I'm cheap, so I'm not trying to pay expensive prices. But even trying to get parking down MLK, I was like, I should have stayed home. But I'm blessed to have really good friends in really high places that afford me to experience some cool things in life. But as I walked and got closer to the stadium, the more regret ran over me. And I don't blame the people. I blame myself. I should have been in the house. Because what you get at Texas OU Red River rivalry is you get a bunch of people. Now, for those of you who may not know this, the Texas OU game is it's at a neutral site. It is at the historic Cotton Bowl in DFW. The Cotton Bowl, yes, the same Cotton Bowl that I won 4th and long at. But it is going on dead smack in the middle of the Texas State Fair. So not only are you dealing with Saturday football crowd, You're dealing with Saturday State Fair crowd. Because the State Fair sits inside the fairgrounds of where the Cotton Bowl is at. So the Cotton Bowl sits here. The fair is basically around the Cotton Bowl. They have the Prairie View, and who else they play? Prairie View plays Southern, Grambling? Sorry, HBCU people, don't come at me. They're like, Jesse, you're black. You should know these things. I think it's Prairie View and Grambling game. Or Southern. Sorry, guys. Is it Southern? It's Southern. It's Texas Southern and Prairie View. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't go to HBCU. I went to a PWI. Okay? It's too bougie to go to a HBCU. Don't stone me. But you have that happening one weekend, and then you have, it's Grambling. Okay. Whew. Prairie View and Grambling. And then the next week you have Texas OU. Or OU Texas, depending on where you're from. And what you get is a bunch of drunk college kids. And boy, let me tell you. And when I say hate, I don't mean hate in an evil way. I mean hate in an annoyed, old, curmudgeonly way. I hate drunk college kids. But I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at me. Because they were doing what they were supposed to be doing at 20, 21, 22 years old for this weekend. But boy, it was a lot of them. And if you live in Texas, if you live in the DFW area, you know this. If you do not live in Texas or the DFW area, you don't know this. It's still hot in October in Texas. And not just like, oh, wow, it's good. It's 80 degrees. Nah, it was 96 degrees in the middle of October. My anxiety is shooting through the roof. I don't like big crowds. I'm around drunk people. Now, the worst thing to be around a bunch of drunk people is sober. Now, if you know me, you know that is my state that I'm always in. I don't drink. So that made it even worse because I thought to myself, boy, if I got as drunk as them, then I would be in the same mind frame as them and acting the same way they act. It wouldn't be such an annoyance to me. But I don't drink. So I would never be in that state. And I'm just like, what am I doing here? And then you get into the stadium. And I remember being on 4th and Long many, many years ago and I lived in the Cotton Bowl. I lived inside the Cotton Bowl. I don't remember sitting in the stands like that. My knees, like literally if the ball was going this way, this is the field out here. If the ball is going this way, I had to turn my legs like this and sit with my legs like this. If the ball was going back that way, I had to turn and sit the opposite way like this. Luckily, I had space because there was another person sitting next to me, so I could move back and forth between those two spaces. If I sat like this, my knees were banging the backside of the bleachers. They're not built for tall people. And then God bless the two little young men that were sitting in front of me with their dad. They were having a father-son experience. There were two little black kids. It was funny, but it was not funny. It was funny because the one that was sitting on my left broke his left arm. He's in a cast. The brother who was sitting on the right-hand side broke his right arm. So they're both sitting there like they need each other because they don't have one of the other arms. They're both sitting there with casts. And then they're putting their cast on the back of the chair, which is hitting my knee on both sides. And they can't feel it because it's a cast. I'm just like, and I don't have a rooting interest. I mean, I'm siding with Texas because I have friends that, like my close friends played at Texas, and my other close friend coaches at Texas. So I was kind of siding with Texas to win, but I didn't have a dog in the fight. And then what made it even worse, there was a guy on my row, and he kept getting up. So now I'm like, after like the fifth time, I just say to the guy, I said, listen, bro, you got to get 4 beers. Just get 4 and have them sitting with you. Because you can't keep, oh, I'm sorry, man. Sometimes it's beer. Sometimes, I broke the seal. I'm going to bring you a beer back. I said, I don't need the beer. I don't drink. Bring me a water, please. Like for the inconvenience. If you are a college student, college age student, this is an environment that you want to be in. If you're an old, stubborn, a little mean, easily annoyed, easily frustrated, inconvenienced, don't like a lot of people around you, don't go. Don't go. Don't go. Listen, shout out to Texas, shout out to OU and all those that attend. Once is enough for me. I don't need to be there again. It's, and again, nothing. I'll say this. I had to kind of, this college student, and I didn't want to be aggressive with him, and I understood. When you're going, if you've been, as you're going into the stadium, there's zero organization. And for some reason, they put these stupid picnic tables in the way of going up the stadium. So like you're trying to like walk straight and now you got to go this way. And I guess they're trying to do something with the traffic or the flow or whatever, but it was dumb. And we're all in these tight spaces, and I get it, but be respectful of the space. These college kids, they're drinking, they're hyped up. We got one side yelling, oh, you Texas suck. And they got the other side yelling, Texas did it up. Oh, you sucks. So they're going back and forth, and I get it, have at it. But the guy, and he had boots on. And I wasn't even worried about my sneaker per se. He like backed up wildly and stepped on my big toe. I let the first one slide, y'all. And then he stepped on my big toe a second time. Like the second time, I felt like he like grinded the heel of that boot into my toe. And that's when I chucked him. I chucked him one good time. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I chucked him one good time, man. And then he turns around. He's like, hey, man, bro. I'm like, my toe, bro. My toe. And then he goes and says something like, yeah. So he turns to his friends and he's like, yeah, these guys upset that I stepped on his foot. No, he said I stepped on his sneaker. I said, I don't give a damn about the sneaker. You stomped on my toe, bro. And then he did the inevitable. He goes, my bad, bro. I said, get your damn hand. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. He's like, whoa, my bad, bro. I'm like, don't touch me. I'm hot at this point. I'm like, I'm legitimately temperature hot. I'm frustrated hot. Don't touch me. He's like, whoa, bro. That pissed me off. Because he's like, whoa, bro. I didn't mean to touch you, bro. I was like, I gotta leave. I gotta go. I finally get inside, man, and sit down and like I said, it was a good game. If you haven't been, go to say you've gone. And I'm not into the fair either. I'm not into the fair. I think the fair food is disgusting. I think it's overpriced. I know you're probably saying right now, Jesse, you're just an old, this is why I stay home. This is why I never get offended when people don't invite me places. This is why I only go when I want to go somewhere and where I want to go. And if you know me, you know that's true. I didn't let people like, why did you go to the fair? I don't like the fair. It's wildly overpriced. I told you it was 96 degrees. The food is nasty. I don't eat corn dogs. I don't eat turkey legs. I don't want no damn fried butter. I don't want fried Oreos. I don't want fried fatback. I don't want none of that. I should have got a piece of fried cheesecake though. That I do indulge in. But the rest of that stuff is nasty. I don't need all that fried. I don't want funnel cake. Funnel cake is mad messy. I know I'm old, I'm mean, I'm curmudgeon, I get it. But if you haven't been to the OU Texas experience at the Cotton Bowl, have at it. Give it a try. But you better be drinking when you go there, because if you're going to be sober, that is the worst place to be. To be sober around a bunch of drunk people will lead to an attitude 1,000% of the time. And I learned my lesson. I'll stay home next time.